So you can't really combine two different images on layers if you don't know how to hide or show different areas of different layers, right? How are we going to combine them if we don't have a way of actually hiding certain sections so that we can see the aspects or the elements that are on two different layers on top of one another? So some of you may be thinking, oh, we're going to talk about masking. Well, yes, we're going to talk about masking, but we're also going to talk about two other opportunities and ways where we can hide and show portions of layers just by making some very simple settings in Photoshop. And so the first way, we are going to talk about masking, like I said. Then we're going to talk about the blend if sliders, but not only for the value of the pixel, but also the color of the pixel, which is really exciting. And then we're also going to talk about blend modes. So between those three, those are your kind of go-to ways on how we show portions of a layer and hide other areas of that layer so that the two layers can interact with each other and you can create a composite. So for me personally, when I was first starting out, this is a beginner class, so I think it's important to talk a little bit about masking from a beginner's perspective. One of the problems that I had with adding a layer mask onto a layer was that there was no effect. There was a cause, you would hit the add layer mask button, but the problem is that there was no effect. That didn't cause anything to happen on your image. So for a long time, I've been kind of pleading with Photoshop to add in like a preference choice that would say when you add a layer mask, you can either have it default to add a black mask or a white mask. And I think that if you had by default added a black mask, it would make more sense to those beginner masking users. But alas, I don't make the decisions at Adobe, so that's just something I'm gonna have to keep requesting and keep asking. But maybe someday it'll happen. So personally, when I was starting out with masking, the whole comment of white reveals and black conceals really confused me because it rhymed, and for some reason, because I'm dyslexic, I would easily get the two confused. So what I like to say is white exposes and black cloaks. So if you turn the lights off, you can't see anything because it's a dark room. But once you turn the lights on, you can see everything. And then black cloaks, I kind of visualized the invisibility cloak from Harry Potter. So whatever works for you, just keep that in mind. Not everything is going to work for all people. So I really like to, whenever possible, teach you guys multiple ways to achieve the exact same thing in Photoshop. So just a little bit of my background information, but let's get started and let's talk about masking. So we have a lovely image of a woman walking in the park. And then on top of that, what I've done is I've just created a layer down here that's just so incredibly different than the layer above it. And that's this rainbow gradient layer. So if I turn that on, you can see how different the two layers are, okay? So here's what I was talking about with the beginner no cause and effect masking issue. If I come down here, and I click the Add Layer Mask button from the bottom of my Layers palette, nothing happens to my image over here. So I did something, but nothing happened. So instead of that, what I would suggest you do if you're a beginner masker is get into the habit of holding down Option or Alt while you add the layer mask. And that's going to immediately add a black mask to your layer instead of a white mask. And so that will just help you have a cause and effect when you do create an action or you tell Photoshop to do something. Something's going to happen. So what we can do is we can use our brush tool. We can make sure that we're painting with white by hitting D on our keyboard. And then we can go ahead and draw a line. We'll make sure that we are drawing, that we have the mask selected and not the actual layer pixels. But what we can do is we can draw a line across our image. And so very easily and quickly, what's happened is the areas in which the mask for this layer are white is where you're seeing the rainbow come through over here in the image, right? All of the areas that are black on this layer mask are where the rainbow layer is hidden. So that's, masking 101. And so if you're interested in this, I want you to check out my masking class, which I'm also teaching as part of this box set. I go into way more detail about masking in that class. Okay, so that is our first option that we want to look at. But there's another option, and that's the layer style dialog box, and more specifically, the blend if sliders. So let me turn on the visibility of my black and white gradient, and then I'm going to select the layer. So with layer 1 selected, what I'm going to do is go to my layers menu. I'm going to choose layer style and blending options. That's going to bring up my layer style dialog box. And as you can see, the layer that we have here, layer 1 copy, since I did not name my layers today. So we have the darkest blacks, then we have dark gray, then we have light gray, and then that goes to white, and then we have light gray again. All of those different values within our layer here. So if we look at our blend if sliders down here, we can see that for this layer, and also for underlying layers, we have the option to basically plot every single pixel that's in this layer and give it a brightness darkness value and plot that brightness darkness value along this bar. And so that's an option for this layer and the underlying layer as well. So if we only want this layer, right, to show where the pixels are 50% gray or brighter, we would take this slider down here and click and drag it until we get to about the middle of the bar here, okay? And so what that's going to do is it's going to hide the darkest 50% of the pixels on this layer that we're working on, okay? Now, this isn't really very viable when it comes to really powerful blending options for layers. And what I mean by that is that the transfer edge is extremely sharp. So it's completely visible here, and then completely invisible here, and then it's completely visible right next to it. So what we can do to soften the edge is hold down Option or Alt and split this arrow into 2, which is basically going to create a feathered appearance. So we can do that, and then we can also pull down the white clipping arrow so that if we zoom in here, our gray gradient layer is invisible from here to here, and then it fades into visibility between 106 and 131, then it's completely visible up until 233 value, and then from 233 to 225, that is completely invisible again. Because we do not have the feathering effect on this arrow, we only have the feathering effect on this arrow. So I'm gonna go ahead and press OK. And so that works both for this layer, but also for the underlying layer as well. So let me go back into my layer style dialog box here, and you have the option for underlying layers, the same exact bar. So as we pull this arrow up, you can see how it starts to take into account the darkest pixels on the bottom layer, and it starts to make our top layer invisible where the darkest pixels are on the layer underneath it. So this is actually the slider that I use whenever I have an adjustment layer on the top, okay? So I'll explain that a little bit more in my layers class. But for this example, I wanted to just drive home that you can use either of these sliders, either the sliders on the current layer if your current layer is pixel based. If your current layer that you're on is an adjustment layer that only modifies underlying pixels, that would be when you would want to use the underlying layer blend if sliders as well. So that's all nice and good, and you guys may or may not know about those specific aspects of the layer style dialog box and the blend if sliders. But if I come to my color gradient layer that I have here and I do the same thing, I go back into layer, layer style, and blending options, what you can do is you can go into the blend if flyout menu and choose, instead of gray, you can choose a color. So let's go to blue, okay? And then all of a sudden this layer and underlying layers show up. So we have a bunch of blue, and then we also have red and green on this layer too in our layers palette. So instead of modifying the brightness darkness value, we can modify the blue value as well. So if we come and we choke this down, you can see that the brightest blues start to disappear as we click and drag this arrow down. But what's not happening? The red and the green circle are unmodified, because we are only dealing with the blue slider instead of all color sliders, okay? So we can go back, so that works. But then also if we change to green, you can see that basically as we pull this down, there we go. Boop, visible, invisible, visible, invisible, okay? So that's the green, and then also we have the option for red. There we go. Boop. So this is going to be a really good way to modify your layers with zero masking required, okay? So what I want to drive home for you guys is that masking is not the end all be all when it comes to hiding some portions of layers and showing other portions of layers. You could modify it by the color, you could modify it by the brightness darkness value, you can modify it by the layer that you're working on, or also the underlying layer as well. So that's the real power behind the blend if sliders. It's not just for the brightness darkness value, it's also for the color values as well. So there's one more thing that I want to talk about, and that's going to be layer blend modes. So we again are starting with our background layer of our lovely lady in the park, and what I'd like to do is turn on the layer of our jellyfish here. One of my favorite keyboard shortcuts for cycling through blending modes is going to be to make sure that your move tool is activated up here in your tools palette, and then what you're going to do is hold down Shift plus Option or Alt plus the plus and the minus buttons. So what I'm doing is cycling through the different blend modes that I have available for my layer. And you can see that that's happening down here in my layers palette here. So I'm just going through those blend modes. And you can see that the lighten blend mode is going to take the pixels from 50% gray or lighter and only show those pixels on this layer. So immediately the black that we used to have visible if we were on normal blend mode is just basically completely removed immediately. And that's a really quick way to combine layers together. The same thing works for darken blend mode. So let me show you that. So I'm going to turn off the visibility of my dark jellyfish and turn on my bright jellyfish. So in the same way that lighten blend mode works, darken blend mode also works. And so what that's going to do is it's going to take the pixels that are 50% gray or darker and remove them from your layer, letting the specific layer and the background layer interchange with one another. So those are going to be the three different ways that you can modify different layers and have them interact with each other. So not everything has to be done with masking, and that is the point that I'm trying to drive home in this lesson today. You have a lot of easier ways to make layers interact with one another, and hopefully some of these different methods are going to really speed up your workflow, allowing you to get to your final destination a little bit faster. So let's move on to our next lesson.